Okay, so today we're diving deep into something I know a lot of you are super interested in,
Mm-hmm.
which is how to travel affordably,
Yeah.
especially if you're a young adult.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got all these awesome resources we're looking at today
Yeah.
that are really targeted at, women in their 20s
Right.
who love adventure
Yep.
and they want to see the world,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously nobody wants to spend a ton of money.
Right.
Um, so
Absolutely.
we're going to try to give you guys the best tips
Yeah.
for finding cheap flights
Yeah.
and budget-friendly places to stay.
Yeah. That's really the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can unlock those two things, then
Yeah,
the world really does open up.
exactly.
And our sources do a great job, I think, of
Yeah.
highlighting some really practical and usable strategies.
Okay, so first up,
Yeah.
let's decode airfare.
Okay.
It might seem like a total mystery,
Right?
like why are some flights so expensive
Mm-hmm.
and some are so cheap?
Mm.
But our sources say there's actually, it's like
Right.
a method to the madness.
A rhyme and a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to a few key factors.
Okay.
Demand.
Yep.
Obviously.
There.
The time of year.
Yeah.
Competition between airlines.
Competition, and even get this.
Oh, yeah.
How often you've searched for a specific flight.
Oh, wow.
So all of that is being factored in.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're tracking that as kind of spooky.
I know. So they say one of the best things you can do is use those comparison tools
Oh, for sure.
like Google Flights
Yep.
and Skyscanner.
Yeah.
So you can see all your options
It's everything at once.
in one place
Yep.
and set up those price alerts.
Oh, that's crucial.
So you know the second the price drops,
hmm
you can jump on it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't want to miss those deals.
Now this is where it gets really good.
Okay.
Our sources say that being flexible with your travel dates can save you a ton of money.
Right.
So flying midweek,
Or taking those overnight flights.
red eyes.
Yeah, the dreaded red eyes.
Yeah,
Often much cheaper.
interesting.
And they had this really quirky insight that I thought was interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
Apparently, Tuesday is often the cheapest day to actually book your flights.
Oh, really?
Not necessarily to fly,
Gotcha.
but to book.
Okay.
And they said it's because a lot of times the airlines update their pricing
Oh.
after the weekend rush.
After that weekend demand.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you can kind of get in there
Yeah, you sneak in
before they jack the prices back up.
on Tuesday.
Wow. That's a great tip.
Right.
I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, I know, me too.
It just goes to show, how just a little bit of knowledge about how the industry works can really make a difference.
For sure.
I mean, how much money could people be saving every year just by shifting their booking day by like 48 hours?
Exactly. All right, so let's move on to accommodation because
Oh.
obviously you need a place to stay.
Right. You can't just sleep at the airport.
Right. Unless you're really hardcore.
Unless you're on a super tight budget.
But
But yeah, most people want a bed.
our sources recommend looking beyond just traditional hotels
Okay.
because
Yeah.
those can get pricey,
Yeah,
especially if you're staying in a popular city.
for sure.
So they highlight some awesome budget-friendly alternatives.
Like what?
Well, for one, hostels.
Oh, yeah. Hostels are classic.
Yeah, they're not only easy on the wallet, but they're also a great way to meet other travelers.
Yeah, I've stayed in hostels before, and you definitely meet people from all over. It's a really cool vibe.
And they recommend checking out websites like Hostel World and Booking.com
Mm.
because they have a huge selection of hostels all over the world.
Yep.
And you can read reviews from other travelers.
That's super helpful.
Yeah, so you can kind of get a feel for the place.
Yeah, because hostels can be, a little hit or miss.
Definitely.
Some are great, some are not so great.
Right.
But those reviews really help.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're looking for something a little more, you know, authentic and local,
Yeah.
they also suggest looking at platforms like Airbnb
Oh, yeah. Airbnb is great.
and even couch surfing.
Wow. Couch surfing, now that's adventurous.
That is, yeah,
You're really immersing yourself.
you are.
But it's amazing how many people are willing to open up their homes
I know. It's really cool.
to complete strangers.
It is.
And you often get to stay in like really cool neighborhoods
Yeah.
that you wouldn't necessarily find in a hotel.
Exactly.
So you really get a feel for the city, like a local.
For sure.
Yeah, I love that.
And they had another really good tip that I thought was great.
Okay, what is it?
They said it's often worth contacting the property directly,
Oh,
like the hostel or the guest house or whatever you found online,
okay.
because you might be able to get a better rate than what's listed on those third-party sites.
Oh, wow.
So it's always worth reaching out.
Just to see.
Yeah, and just
I
ask.
never know.
You never know.
They might have a special deal going on. Right.
Or they might just be willing to give you a discount.
Exactly. So it's always worth a shot.
I love that this all comes back to being proactive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of these tips are things that anyone can do.
Right.
It's not like rocket science.
Yeah. It's just about being resourceful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like, you know, those travel gurus like Rick Steves,
Yeah.
who's been advocating for smart travel spending forever,
Yeah.
packing light, choosing affordable destinations.
Yeah.
It's all about that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also Nomadic Matt, who's
Yeah.
like a huge inspiration for people who want to travel a lot,
Yeah.
but on a smaller budget.
Right.
And his whole philosophy is just about being flexible and resourceful,
Yeah.
you know, and that you can make it work if you're willing to put in a little bit of effort.
Absolutely. So what's the main takeaway here for our listeners?
I think the biggest thing is that budget travel is totally achievable.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, being cheap.
Right.
It's about making smart choices.
Yeah. And being flexible.
Yeah.
And if you understand how flight pricing works
Yeah.
and you explore all those different accommodation options,
Yeah.
you can absolutely see the world
Absolutely.
without going broke.
Hopefully you guys got some like aha moments from those specific tips.
I know I did.
Yeah. About booking on Tuesdays and contacting properties directly.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So just remember,
Yeah.
by being strategic about your flights and your accommodation, you can unlock a world of possibilities.
It really is amazing
Yeah.
how much you can save if you're just a little bit savvy.
Right.
So I guess my final thought for our listeners is
Yeah.
think about the destinations you've always wanted to go to,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that maybe seemed out of reach.
Yeah.
How could these budget travel strategies help you actually make those trips happen?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to dust off that bucket list,
Yeah.
do a little research,
Yeah.
and start planning that adventure you've always dreamed of.
I love it. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But make sure to check out the show notes for links to all the resources we talked about.
Yeah, we've got some great stuff in there.
And we'll see you next time
See ya.
for another deep dive.
Bye.